As you know, we have been obsessively washing our hands and wiping down our counters for months now, but a new report suggests we're just not taking cleaning all that seriously anymore.
So here with some timely reminders on how to keep our spaces clean is super awesome science show host and the germ guy, Jason Tetro. Jason, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, we'd like to think, Jason, that people are still washing their hands as much as they did in the beginning of the pandemic, but is that true?
Not really. I mean, even before something like this comes around, you're lucky if about a third of the population is washing their hands properly. We sometimes like to joke that we don't actually call it a pandemic, it's actually a hand-demic. Okay, it's a bad joke, but still, we really do need to be washing our hands to be sure that they're safe, because remember, we touch our faces about 16 times an hour. We don't even think about it.
All right, so what is the best way to wash our hands, and what steps do people often forget?
Well, when you're washing your hands, there are three major steps. The first is, of course, wetting and lathering. And when you're doing that, that's where that, singing happy birthday twice or saying the alphabet backwards comes into play. But you also want to make sure that you're getting all of your hand. When I swab hands after they've been washed, it's amazing how this section here is still germy as ever. And the thumb always gets missed. And then once you finish that out, then there's the rinsing. So you want to try and get as much off, because hand washing is for removal. And you want that to go into the sink or wherever you're washing your hands into. And then finally, there's the drying stage, which is probably the most important, because if you maintain some kind of wetness on your hands afterwards, then it's going to be easier to pick up stuff when you're touching surfaces. And if you haven't done a good job, it's going to leave those germs behind on everything you touch, which can be quite a lot of things.
Yeah, you bet. And good advice about the thumb. That was a big one for me at the start of the pandemic. Don't forget to wash these
Thumbs
guys.
up.
Yes, your thumbs. All right, besides washing our hands, we also, Jason, need to continue cleaning high-touch surfaces. Which ones, though, are people kind of skipping or missing?
Most is probably the best thing. I'm just going to give you a few examples here. You know about your tablets, your cell phones, sink taps. Those are probably the germiest places in your home. Light switches, remote controls. And if you happen to live in a condo, don't forget those elevator buttons. Oh my goodness. And of course, we can't get in and out of rooms without touching doorknobs. So these are all high-touch surfaces that we have recognized through healthcare and other places where we do this type of study, that these are very easy areas where you can see deposition of microbes, but also picking them up and leading to self-inoculation when you touch your nose or your mouth.
What should we be using to clean these surfaces?
Well, thankfully, the coronavirus, COVID-19 coronavirus, is very easy to kill. So soap and water is going to do you fine. But if you want to be looking at a more widespread kill, then you're going to be using what we call an active ingredient. And this could be anything from hydrogen peroxide to citric acid, high concentrations of acetic acid like vinegar. You could even use alcohol. We do that for our hands. And then you have some of the more, I guess, powerful agents, such as, terpenes like pine oils. You have positively charged chemicals that can possibly, get onto surfaces, even reside on surfaces. So you get what we call residual activity. And of course, even though we don't talk about it as much anymore, there's always good old-fashioned bleach.
All right, well, we've talked about the importance of cleaning, but Jason, we need to know, what is the difference between just cleaning something and actually disinfecting?
Well, that's been sort of a debate that's been going on for eternity, essentially. Cleaning is really, you make it look good. So if you got a dirty floor, you're going to clean it, it's going to look good, that's clean. Where we talk about disinfecting, it's actual term that we use in infection prevention control. That means that you've reduced the bacterial or viral load that happens to be on a surface by a certain amount. And that renders it what we call safe. So for the majority of surfaces that we're dealing with, cleaning is really a good idea. But if you really are concerned about some places that could be problematic, like those elevator buttons, you really want to just spray in a disinfectant in there. And as I said before, if it's got that active ingredient, then you know it's going to work properly.
All right, some timely reminders as we're all navigating our way through the second wave. From the Germ Guy, Jason Tetro. Jason, thanks so much. Good to see you this morning.
It was a pleasure. Take care.